Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC3. Here are the top stories.
Presley was more than a colleague. He was part of my beginning. And somehow, the end of a beautiful full circle moment in my career.
It was a moving memorial service for actor Presley Chweneyagae, known as Cobra or Kobrizi Wali Easy to his fans, as he was remembered in Pretoria today. 3 suspects have been shot and killed, and 1 was arrested during a shootout on the N1 freeway in Sandton.
It is with a very heavy heart that we have received the sad news of the passing on of our beloved 6th Republican president.
Messages of condolences are pouring in following the death of former Zambian President Edgar Lungu. The world in focus and the news in depth. Welcome to Prime News on 3. I am your host, Beki Mutumomolete, and I'll be guiding you through the latest developments from around the globe. Let's take a closer look. Actor Presley Chweneyagae, known as Cobra or Kobrizi Wali Easy to his fans, has been remembered in a memorial service held in Pretoria earlier today. Fans, friends and family gathered at the State Theatre, where Presley was first discovered, to remember his life and contribution to the acting profession. He was described as playful by his colleagues and someone who paved the way for many thespians in the country.
We are devastated. We are heartbroken. We have lost one of our children in the company. And in gratitude and in love, we will learn to accept that the curtain has finally come down to the greatest actor that has ever lived.
He gave Tsotsi his soul. The Oscar that I was privileged to collect on behalf of Tsotsi was not awarded to me as the director. It was awarded to our film, and no one gave themselves more than Presley. He carried the heart of the film.
Joburg MMC for Public Safety, Mgcini Chwaku, has revealed that police have found a crucial lead in the case of the murdered 14-year-old Likhona Fose. Chwaku has called on the community to come forward with any information that could help solve the brutal murder of the teenager.
Send our special, the condolences to the family of Likhona Fose. We are very sad and saddened by what actually happened. As a JMPD, as you see that they've actually been here, one of the people who were there looking for the, looking for the body and everything, with SAPS. So what we're going to do now moving forward is that we've assigned the tactical, the TRU, the technical, the direction unit and the K9 have been assigned in terms of working with SAPS to trace the terms of the people who actually caused this thing.
President Cyril Ramaphosa is among the thousands of people continuing to send messages of remembrance following the passing of Rashid Lombard. Ramaphosa says the cultural activist and creative visionary achieved a remarkable feat with his love for the diversity and vibrancy of South Africa.
The Lombard home was full to the brim with mourners. Many of the country's influential politicians, members of the judiciary and artists were among those to pay their respects. Despite his immense accomplishments, he was simply known as Rashid.
It comes at you in so many ways, and you look around and people that you thought would be there are not there. Rashid was a constant. He was a constant through times of difficulty, through times of joy, through times of struggle, through times of sacrifice, through times of hope. It was always a constant in my life.
In the late 90s, he finally had the opportunity to embrace his great passion, jazz.
Rashid not only was tenacious, but he was one of those kind human beings, and we look at him as a giant, yes, and a veteran, and all those wonderful words that we use for people like him, but he was just a humanitarian.
Lombard was buried according to Muslim rites. Many attended the janaza or funeral on short notice. He was so much to so many.
Besides being a father, he was a leader, a motivator, a mentor, somebody that didn't mind giving more of his time to other people and even to his own children, which is something to be admired.
Mariska Botha, SABC News, Cape Town.
Police say 3 suspects have been shot and killed and 1 was arrested during a shootout on the N1 freeway in Sandton in the north of Johannesburg. Police received information about the suspects who had just allegedly committed a house robbery in Randburg, where they stole appliances and the victim's vehicle.
Driven by the suspects and the one taken from the house robbery scene were spotted. As the police tried to stop them on the N1 freeway, suspects started shooting at the police and shootout ensued. 3 of the suspects were fatally wounded and the 4th suspect, who was driving the car taken from the house robbery, was arrested as he tried to jump out of the car. Police recovered 2 firearms and the appliances that are believed to have been taken during the house robbery. The suspects are believed to be part of the syndicate that has been committing house robberies in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg, including Sandton and Randburg. The suspects are facing charges that include attempted murder, possession of unlicensed firearms, house robbery, and possession of suspected stolen property.
Welcome back. Former Zambian President Edgar Lungu has passed on. He has been receiving specialized treatment in South Africa. Lungu died at the Mediclinic Medforum Hospital in Pretoria. He was the 6th president of Zambia between 2015 and 2021 when he lost the election to the current president, Hakainde Hichilema.
Lungu was born on the 11th November 1956. He was Zambia's 6th president. Lungu took a full presidential term in 2016 after defeating opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema at the time. Prior to that, he had served as Lusaga's Justice and Defense Minister under the ticket of his party, the Patriotic Front. Lungu's family says they are distraught by his passing.
We departed this morning at 06 hours at Medforum Clinic, a center in South Africa. My father, President Lungu, had been under medical supervision in recent weeks. His condition was managed with dignity and privacy, with support from all well-wishers. In this moment of grief, we invoke the spirit of one Zambia, one nation.
Lungu was no stranger to the political office. He acted as Zambia's president after the hospitalization of the late former president, Michael Sata. In 2021, Lungu was defeated by the current president of Zambia, Hichilema. South African government has extended its condolences to the people of Zambia.
Government, the Lungu family and the Zambian High Commission will undertake the necessary processes to give effect to the wishes of the Lungu family. May President Lungu's soul rest in peace.
It is with a very heavy heart that we have received the sad news of the passing on of our beloved 6th Republican President of the Republic of Zambia.
Details and funeral arrangements are yet to be announced by the Zambian authorities. Kylie Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Minister of Higher Education Dr. Nobuhle Ngabane must account for her conduct in Parliament last week to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Last week, she appeared before the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education to explain her Sector Education and Training Authority chairperson appointments, which drew a lot of criticism. The appointments were later reversed.
That the minister provide him with a detailed report on the decorum and substance of her engagement with Parliament. In this regard, the President will also appreciate a report on the process undertaken to appoint the board members to the SETA, the Sector Education and Training Authorities, that were at the center of the Portfolio Committee's question. The request for the report is in view of the President's expectation that ministers, deputy ministers, and senior executives in the public sector conduct themselves professionally, transparently, and cordially in engaging with Parliament and other accountability structures.
The National Prosecuting Authority has charged that it does not target individuals but remains focused on admissible evidence presented by law enforcement. This is in light of a string of failed cases, as well as criticism that some prosecutions are politically motivated. These have resulted in the institution seemingly losing public confidence.
Of scrutiny continues to close in on the National Prosecuting Authority, which is seemingly experiencing challenges in its role to dispense justice. Several high-profile prosecutions have appeared to follow a particular pattern. The Hollywood-style arrests, to appease the public eye, the first court appearance filled with pomp and ceremony, and eventually a slew of postponements culminating in the NPA being left with nothing to show for its efforts. Which begs the question, is the NPA following the man and not the evidence on what has been criticized as politically motivated prosecution?
That is an allegation that can never be substantiated. It is not backed by any evidence or facts. It is an attempt on some commentators to perceive or view legal issues from an uninformed, emotional and political perspective.
The NPA has taken on a number of high-profile prosecutions, such as the corruption case against former Eskom boss Matshela Koko, ANC-NEC member Zizi Kodwa, and the Extina dairy farm matter, which are no longer on the court roll.
We never target individuals. We focus on relevant and admissible evidence that is presented to us by law enforcement.
Majority of the cases informing the pressure and public doubts on the NPA are cases emanating from the Zondo Commission, which saw its chairperson, retired Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, exit his top post without seeing a single conviction. In his reflection on this fact, Zondo said the following.
It doesn't help for the police or the NPA to rush to take cases to court when they are not ready, because then people who are otherwise guilty will go off scot-free.
All eyes are on the corruption case of former ANC SG, Ace Magashule, which has since lost what was believed to be the key witness in the matter, Murawadi Cholota. Despite this blow, the NPA maintains that the case is not doomed. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Thank you for staying with us. The position of Secretary General in the MK Party has been a thorny, tricky and unstable issue. Just like his predecessors, Floyd Shivambu has also been removed as Secretary General after he had taken over from Dr. Sifiso Maseko. Since its formation about 18 months ago, the MK Party has had 4 Secretary Generals, which seemingly portrays instability in the party.
Internal divisions, factions and perceived instability have been consistent with the ranks of the MK Party in a bitter battle for positions amid personality clashes. The first Secretary General of the party, Sihle Ngubane, was only in office for 3 months. He was followed by Arthur Zwane, who lasted for 30 days, and then Dr. Masego, who spent 4 months in office before resigning. Shivambu lasted for just over 6 months, but clashed with Duduzile Zuma Sambudla and others who spearheaded the campaign for his removal.
The national officials have come to a decision to redeploy Commander Floyd Shivambu as the Secretary General of the party and redeploying him to the National Assembly.
The party now has to look elsewhere to fill the important position of Secretary General.
The position of Secretary General of MK, I don't know, should I say, is a poison chalice, because we have had so many Secretary General.
Yeah, I think he's the third.
Yeah. So, and clearly that position is going to be interesting to see who's going to occupy it. But perhaps a bit of credit, he did appear to have stabilized the party in terms of setting up the structures. And I think that role, and I think you could hear even from the speech or the statement, somehow acknowledging that he did somehow help in stabilizing the party.
Samkele Masego, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Day 4 of the Cradock 4 inquest has wrapped up in the Gqeberha High Court. Academic and former anti-apartheid activist Professor Derek Swarts gave his testimony. The son of Fort Kalata, Lukhanyo Kalata, also took to the stand, offering searing testimony about the years leading up to the activist killing and the deep wounds left behind.
Another emotional day. Former anti-apartheid activist and academic Professor Derek Swarts was one of the last people to see the film alive in 1985. He used his time on the stand to describe how the Eastern Cape in the early 1980s was the epicenter for the regime resistance. He explained how South Africa has since been held hostage by a fragmented history with little hope of finding real closure.
For me personally, I still feel pain to this very day. And none of us went through any counseling because of that horrendous period. I'm not talking about just that incident, but there were other comrades whose lives were lost as well.
Fort Kalata's son gave a background on the years leading to the abduction and assassination.
The last 40 years, we've had to grow up with pieces of our souls missing. And I feel that the authorities in this country, ma'am, I understand the apartheid government. They were never going to kill my father and his comrades and then prosecute themselves for doing that. What I don't understand, ma'am, are successive administrations of the African National Congress that have led this country from 1994.
Lukhanyo will continue his testimony while his mother, Nomonde Kalata, will start her testimony as soon as her son wraps up. Kim Daniels, SABC News, Gqeberha.
Straight off the pitch, Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Broos has named Stellenbosch defender Fawaz Bassadine as captain of the national team in the two upcoming friendlies against Tanzania and Mozambique. Bafana will face Tanzania on Friday evening before welcoming Mozambique on Tuesday. Both encounters will be played at the new Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, Limpopo.
That Fawaz will tomorrow be our captain. And that's also the reason why he's here today. At the other side, I'm very happy with what I saw in the past days of this new and young group of players. And not only what I saw on the pitch, but also outside the pitch. It was a little bit quiet the first days, but I think this is totally normal. Many new players with the national team. Okay, they know each other as opponents, but it's always a difference when you are in the same team.
And in athletics, Gerda Steyn, who bagged a hat-trick last year to be the first woman across the finish line in the Comrades Marathon in 3 consecutive years, says it will be difficult to break the down-run record on Sunday. She'll be among some of the best ultramarathon runners in the world, lining up opposite the Pietermaritzburg City Hall early Sunday morning for the start of the grueling 89-kilometer race to Durban.
South African top ultra-marathon runner Gerda Steyn says she's up against a very good field in this Sunday's Comrades Marathon. She says she knows there will be a target on her back.
When it comes to me versus the competition, there's always going to be that target on my back where it's not about the supporters or the anyone watching the race, but it's the actual competition.
The defending men's Comrades champion, Piet Wurmse from the Netherlands, says after training for a number of months in Kenya, he's on his best form yet. In 2023, Wurmse and South African Tete Dijane gave spectators a nail-biting finish. The Dutchman finished a mere 3 seconds after Dijane, who set a new down-run record of 5 hours, 13 minutes and 58 seconds. Wurmse says he doesn't train to win, only to be the best he can be.
To me,
every year I'm running the race for the first time. When I'm out there on the course on Sunday, I don't think the past means anything to me, because every year I'm training not to be good enough based on what has worked in the past. I'm training to be at the best level I can be.
After falling back to 24th position last year after he was plagued by cramps.
I'm so excited to come and fix what happened last year, because I cramped, I walked, and when I was at home watching the videos, I saw one of the coaches telling his athletes, say, that is working. So this year I'm not yet to walk.
It is now time for us to forecast the future, one cloud formation at a time. The cold is biting back, and our weather team has the details coming up next.
Good evening to you. Let's take a look at all your weather details. Clear skies ahead of a cold front for the Western Cape this evening, otherwise partly cloudy conditions descending through the interior, bringing with it some isolated showers through the southern Free State in towards the northern parts of the Eastern Cape. Partly cloudy skies dominate the skyline for Johannesburg and Pretoria. Ahead towards Friday and the start of the weekend sees again partly cloudy conditions for the northwestern parts of South Africa. Sunny skies expected in the northeast and along the eastern coastline, while some isolated showers continue towards possibility in towards the Free State province and parts of the Northern Cape. Whilst ahead of the cold front, we see an increase in wind speeds for Cape Town and isolated showers in your forecast tomorrow. And taking a look at some alerts for this evening, please be on the lookout for the potential of damaging winds through the east coast of the country and ahead towards tomorrow. We've got again the possibility of damaging winds, but now throughout the Cape Peninsula. Into your overnight temperatures, dropping to 8 in Cape Town overnight, East London down to 12, Durban 15 this evening, Bethlehem down to about 5 degrees, Johannesburg the same, Pretoria 8, warming up on Friday afternoon to a maximum of 21, Johannesburg up to 19, partly cloudy skies expected in the forecast, Richards Bay 28 tomorrow, Durban 26, Pietermaritzburg up to 25, Gqeberha 20 degrees through the Eastern Cape, Cape Town up to 16, Beaufort West 23 and Uppington up to 24 degrees. Ahead towards Saturday and just ahead of the cold front, we've got cold temperatures expected in the Western Cape, widespread showers ahead of that frontal system as well. Isolated showers through the central parts of the country becoming cool in towards the northeast and northwestern parts, whilst cloudy skies descend on the eastern coastline. That's it from me. Enjoy your evening.
That's all for tonight. The news cycle continues with us tomorrow. From myself and the team, thank you for watching. Stay ahead, stay inspired. Good night.